Time to rise and shine.
What?
Time to pour the coffee with Bill.
Who wants to be human?
Time to rise and shine with Bill.
He has all the ingredients for disaster.
Time to get going with Bill. Welcome to Baker Street with your host, Bill Baker.
Hey, Diane. Hey, good morning, Sun Prairie, and welcome to Baker Street. What a great weekend! Oh my gosh, the weekend was absolutely phenomenal, wasn't it? Can't believe it. It was just a beautiful weekend. Yes, I got to mow the yard. I was happy about that, I reckon, but mow the yard. But it's the second time this year. Yeah, I'm not sure about that no mow May, because there ain't no people out there that would be out there helping me mow that thing if I had to wait till the end of the mow time. You know what I'm saying? Because, if I had to wait to mow my yard till the end of May, it'd be 2 feet tall out there. I know. But no, I had a great weekend. Got some stuff to talk about. Took home a lot of shiny bling this past weekend because of the Wisconsin Community Media Awards and also the big boy, the Wisconsin Broadcasters Association. Proud to say that the real estate show won an outstanding award, and then also an achievement award, and then the Cardinal football, the East-West game, we took best of show. Mike Powers and I and Dan Corcoran, our director, of course, and had a great time. And then for the big boys, the WBA, Andy Shaner and I, for our election coverage in 22. It's kind of cool. I was excited about that. Hey, you're listening to 103.5 WLSP, the Sun, right here in beautiful, this morning, Ducky Wucky, Sun Prairie. And we're underwritten by those wonderful folks at the Bank of Sun Prairie and, of course, the Baker Realty Group. And glad to be a part of the show. Hey, this morning we're going to talk about scammers and scams that are going on out there. We're going to talk with Tiffany Bernhardt Schultz from the Better Business Bureau. She'll be in here about 7:45 this morning. Got to get her kiddos off to school right away. Understandable, right? We're going to talk about it. You're going to be blown away when we talk about this and when you find out what's going on out there. But it's interesting. I mean, I've been scammed and more than once. I guess maybe I'm just gullible or something. But man, I love me to get some of those deals on Facebook, right? You see them coming in there, and I think Facebook should be responsible for some of these scams. But we'll talk about that too. But yeah, mowed my yard, got the deals for flowers and plants at Costco this weekend. Oh my God, I had 3 carts full of boxwoods. I bought about 3 boxwoods, bought a bunch of hanging plants, and just couldn't go wrong. I mean, it was just, I had to go back and get another cart and load it up again, and then went back in and got food. I know it sounds crazy, but that was me. Getting ready to do all that stuff, then I mowed the yard. Yes, as I said, I mowed my yard. And my neighbor, Janice, and Michael, but it's Janice that does the yards, man. She mows the yard. She loves to mow her yard. And her landscaping is meticulous. Do you have one of those neighbors where you look at your yard and you look at your neighbor's yard and you go, what the hell? Well, I mean, she keeps me going, and I love her for it. She's just the best. But so she's told me many times, and I'm a 61-year-old guy. How many houses have I owned? My big house was over 7 acres. I mowed 5 of it, and I used to have a blast on my big rider that I drove and all that stuff. So Janice says, Bill, you gotta change the direction every time you cut. your yard. Every time you mow your yard, I'm like, really? Because I know that if I do one way, if I do the long way, it's going to take me about 28 minutes. Why do I know that? I time it. Yeah, I got a Garmin on my wrist, and it's always measuring everything I do. Yeah, I know, that's what life's coming down to. It measures everything out there. And I measure steps and all that stuff, and so I know 28 minutes. If I really get into it, I can do like 22 minutes. So if I do that, if I mow long ways, and my yard's set up where I don't have to trim, which is really cool. You're smart when you do that stuff, right? But if I have to cut crossways, yesterday, 42 minutes. 42 minutes. Now it looks pretty. 42 minutes. I know. 40 flipping 2 minutes. But the yard looks good. And I'm not doing this no mow May. Don't give me no mow of that stuff. Because I see a neighbor down the street that's doing no mow May, and there's no judgment here. But I'm going to tell you, that's going to be like 3 cuttings when they go to mow that yard. And if you ain't got no kids, you're doing it yourself. You know what I mean? Julie Peak, good morning. Thanks for joining us on Facebook. If you're listening on the radio, you're welcome to go to Facebook. Go to 1035's Facebook page, or go to Baker William J. You can check us out there. And yeah, I'd love to have you. Get on Facebook, give us some comments and that. And like I said, later this morning, we're going to talk about scams and scammers. And this is going to be a fun show. I think I'm going to have to talk to her about being a regular guest. Maybe like that second Monday of every month, or maybe every other month. We'll figure it out. I'll talk to her and see what we can do about it, But I don't know. Maybe. Next Monday. Oh yeah, Psychic Monday. Or Mystic Monday. I'm sorry. Mystic Monday. Monday. Yeah. We've got Christy and Renee back. And I believe Erin Barth is going to join me. She'll have her tarot read next Monday. And the ladies will come in from Budding Butterfly here in Sun Prairie, right on the corner of Bristol and Main Street. And they're going to come in, and we've made this a monthly thing. Lisa Murphy, glad you could join us. So if you'd like to have your cards run, your tarot and that, get on my list, and maybe we can get you in here and let that happen. Hey, don't forget that today is Monday. Monday means Sunshine Supper. So tonight from 5 to 6 p.m., come downtown, right on Main Street, right across from Stark. Go around the building. Tell us how many meals you want. We'll bring them right out to your car. No judgment. 1 meal, 2 meals, 10 meals. It's whatever you want. Tonight it's sponsored by St. Albert the Great, which means Sloppy Joe Night. And no Sloppy Joes, I'm telling you right now, are to die for. They are to die for. Love me some Sloppy Joes. And it's going to be a fun night. Let's see. Busy weekend in sports. Opening of Farmers Market was happening. It was good. I couldn't broadcast this Saturday because we had softball, doubleheader softballs going on, and baseball, and so they had to use the remote equipment to do that. That's okay. That's all right. But it was a beautiful day at Farmers Market. Oh my gosh, it was just great to see Sarah Wells and the entire gang down at Farmers Market. Love me some Farmers Market. You're going to catch me down there almost every Saturday. Moving forward, I may take a couple Saturdays off in June, and you know why. But it's going to be a great season, and looking forward to it. So I love that. So you got a lot of stuff going on. The spring is upon us. School's getting inching closer to being over for the year. And things are happening out there. So glad you could join me this morning. So let's get this show started. And as we do for every single show in the last 7 years, we'll start us off by going fishing right here on 103.5 WLSP. Good morning, Sun Prairie. How about a little bit of nitty-gritty dirt band? Woo!
Lazy
Good morning, Facebook. What's up, Facebook? Glad you guys could join us. Man, I got good stuff this morning to talk about. I tell you, because wait until you see and hear about all these scams or scammers that are out there and what they've been up to. Tiffany's got just some great information. And would you believe that the top most impersonated organizations is Amazon? Oh yeah. How about Geek Squad? Have you ever been contacted by Geek Squad because your computer's been bad or something? I have. I know exactly what they're talking about. So, and good morning to you, Miss Lisa. Glad that you're on there. Miss seeing you, Lisa. I haven't seen you forever. And yeah, Amazon, Geek Squad, Publishers Clearinghouse. Man, I've been waiting to win me a few million, you know? Haven't had any of that. So it's going to be a fun show. I got 4 pages of notes on this, and I'm looking forward to seeing what Tiffany's going to share with us. Anything else going on out there, folks, that we should know about? Let me know. Put it into the chat section, and I'll make sure that we get it in there. Hey, Renee Clark, just want to say happy birthday to you. Glad that you could be there. Your Bill Baker hugs. At least I can do that. Love me some hugs. I think we should all get at least like 10 hugs a day. You know? 10 hugs. Let's do that. Tiffany Burks is her birthday's today. What else is in here? Melissa O'Brien, her birthday's today. Wow. Nice. If you got a special event that you're wanting to get a little bit of publicity on, hey, don't forget to send it into the media center and we'll get it on the air. Love to do that for you. Especially if you're a nonprofit. Hey, Lisa, at least you're working 14 hours. That's a good thing, man. A lot of people aren't working at all right now. Justin. Mr. Justin Laridan, young man that grew up with my son, and he is a buddy of Alex's, now going to be a doctor. He's going through all that process to make that happen. Happy for him. Sorry, I do have me some cough still. Can't get rid of the cold thing. I should do that. Sounds good, Lisa. I'll do that, all right? If I forget, forgive me, okay? If I forget, text me. Good morning, Terry McElroy. Thanks for joining me. Talking about the Better Business Bureau today, the scams and scammers. So hang out with us, and she'll get here soon. Oh man, we're gonna miss this guy, Mr. Gordon Lightfoot. Man, he can break a heart. Oh man, that voice is just something else, right? So in tribute to Gordon Lightfoot and all the years, here we go. Hey Josh, good morning. So if you're wondering why you're not hearing music right now on Facebook, just a quick reminder that the reason for that is that Meta or Facebook, they don't feel that we have the rights to the music, which is a bunch of crap. we're a radio station, and they don't recognize that. But, you know. A little bit of Gordon Lightfoot right here on 103.5 WLSP, The Sun. And before that, a little bit of Life is Better With You. I love that song. What a great way to get the morning going. And again, a huge loss this past weekend with the passing of Gordon Lightfoot. But what great memories, man, I tell you. Record of the Edmund Fitzgerald, the song that you just heard. I mean, he's just a true ballad kind of artist, and we're losing those guys. We're losing those guys out there, and that's a bummer. But the next one would break my heart would be like Bob Seger or Bruce Springsteen. I mean, you can't. Those guys just can't do that, you know. John Mellencamp, there's another good one, right? I tell you. But so here's a question I have. I'm over on Sun Prairie. What's happening now? All things happening now, and there's a mother out there. I love this, and she asked a question. I love how mom and dads try and find and do things for our kids, but when the kids should actually be the ones that are out there doing, right? And that's, who's hiring 16-year-olds in Sun Prairie besides fast food and the movie theater? What does she want? Like a cushy job, like a 9 to 5 in an office somewhere? What's going on? Why don't you call a landscaping company? Call Jackson Lawn Care. You'll put them out there with a lawnmower or trimmer and get them working. What is it with people today? I mean, why are you holding your kids' hands? Stop calling them. Let them go find their jobs. They got the thing called the internet. It's in their hand all the time, right? Let them find a job, for God's sakes. 66 comments on this post. You know, Woodman's and Target and all this stuff. Oh my gosh. Great work environments. How about farm work? Yeah, how many kids want to go out and milk? Yeah, or milk or work in hay or whatever. The kids today don't do that. They don't do that. Yeah. Why? Because you parents out there are a bunch of wimps, and you're afraid that your kids are actually going to have to work hard. I'm going to tell you right now, put that kid out there on a farm every day, every morning, and I'll tell you, they'll learn a work ethic that is second to none. I mean, I remember being told, those cows ain't milking themselves. Get up out of bed and get down there, get dressed, and get those calves fed and fill up the feeders. Oh my gosh. And you know what? Here's the thing is, we didn't get paid. Farm kids, we didn't get paid. We got food on the table, a place to put our head at night, right? I know some of you are rolling your eyes and laughing, and others are going, yeah, that's exactly what we did. And good morning, Mike Powers. Glad you could join us. Work ethic today is just a really, I don't know. Do we have a work ethic? Are we teaching our kids work ethic? I'm serious about this. I mean, what's wrong with working at a fast food place? One of the best places I ever worked was McDonald's. And, I mean, it was work. I mean, we worked 8 hours a day, and we were flipping burgers in Michigan. And where we were located, we would get buses all the time. And as you progress through, you learn the different stations. And I ended up on the regular grill, they call it. Back then, they didn't put them in the little warmer stuff. We would cook them, flip them, cook them, stack them, and put them out, and they were wrapped and gone. And I love one of my phrases that I learned from McDonald's. You got time to lean, you got time to clean. Get cleaning. And our place was always spotless, I tell you. One of my best friends, Chip Good, Max Good as he goes by now because his wife doesn't like him using Chip. Yeah, he and I used to have so much fun. And then get this. We're in high school. We're both athletes. I mean, I played football, I swam, I played baseball. But we worked. Man, every weekend, Saturdays and Sundays, putting those hours in, right? And then, during the week, you'd have a truck that would come in, and it would come in around 1 o'clock in the morning. And that was our job, to go help unload and stack And it would take us about an hour and a half, right? And we got paid good to do that. Do you think parents would allow that today? What are your thoughts on that? Yeah, Lisa, you did 14 hours. What's 14 hours? I mean, 14 hours is easy. Easy peasy. You don't watch that clock, it goes by so fast. Boom, it's happening. It just happens out there. So, yeah, the work ethic. I love these kids. They don't work. They don't work the way they should, I don't think. Parks and Rec, how about PAC? Of course. How about being a lifeguard? Nothing's more important than being a lifeguard and getting out there and preventing injury and drowning. Your job's not to save people, it's to prevent it from happening. But if something happens, you're there to do it. Alex, my son, love this kid. He lifeguarded every morning for Ann Baranski. Ann was in charge of all the guards and that. And he'd be up at 5 o'clock in the morning to go guard the pools early in the morning. But he also guarded outside during the summer. And he's known for saving 2 people. One of them was a guard. He looked over, he was walking the side, and the guard was up in the chair. And he saw her just like wobbling, a little bit. And so he walked over, and right as she went into water, she went head first into the water from her chair, and he jumped in and grabbed her and pulled her out. Another one was a kid. A little kid was going down the sides of the pool. And now it's just, blowing his whistle. And then the kiddo just went bloop, gone. And so had to reach in and grab him. But those are responsible jobs. Those are jobs that teach a kid to be accountable. You don't just show up. You got to work. So there's a lot of good jobs out there, but don't be dissing on fast food or the movie theater. I think it would be cool to be working at the movie theater. You get to see all the movies, your popcorn, all that stuff. How about going out to Prairie Pines, the golf course that Prairie Athletic Club just purchased, and working with those folks, mowing grass, doing trimming, turning over sand traps, helping in the pro shop. I'm sure Jenny and Pete have some jobs that are out there. What about Woodman's? How about Gus's Diner? Yeah, how about Golden Nest? The newest find I love Golden Nest. Love me some Golden Nest. But there's a lot of stuff out there. The lawn care especially, those guys are killing it. They need to find summer help for landscaping, for mowing, trimming. Yeah, it's a lot of work. They get paid good money, but get them out there, right? Exactly. That happens. So let's do this. We're going to go back to some music, and then when we come back, we're going to have Tiffany. She's here. I think she arrived at the studio already, and we're going to talk about scams and scammers right here on 103.5 WLSP, The Sun. Good morning, Sun Prairie. Get up, get your tea, get your coffee, get out of bed. Hi. Hi.
Good morning, how are you?
I'm bright-eyed, bushy-tailed.
So you're happy this morning?
I am. I'm always
It's
that
good to
way.
see you.
Good seeing you.
I sent you some notes?
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. I just figured this was the easiest way to talk about it.
You're over in that corner?
Oh, nice studio. I think you were, last time I saw you, which was
A long time ago.
prior to COVID.
Oh my
I
God.
think you were down there.
Oh my God.
Beautiful day today, hey?
It's Ducky.
Who would have wanted this after what we had yesterday?
That's true. This will be your headset.
Okay.
You can grab this like this and you can pull it any way you want. So you
Okay.
need to bring it towards you once you get comfortable.
Sounds good.
We're in a song right now. We are on Facebook Live right now. And this is your camera.
Oh, okay. I didn't know I was on camera. Hi.
And you look good. You look good. I've already been talking about you. I've already been talking about you.
Oh,
Do you need water?
I'm good.
You sure?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
We're gonna be on till 9, right?
Well, yeah. Or
Okay.
or noon or something.
Noon? Okay. Sounds good.
Whatever you need to do. So I took that information you gave me.
Yep.
And watch. Wait, look at this. 1, 2.
Oh wow, you were busy, hey?
Yeah, so what I did is I created a script for it, and then that I can follow. And,
Okay.
Not just following it, but it's what was I going to tell you? Sorry. So he's talking to me online already. Just some really important parts that we can really get into and have some fun with
Sure.
at the same time.
Sure. What do you want to start with?
I don't know. We'll talk about the risk report. I want to talk about the scam tracker.
Okay. Yep.
I talked about the risk report already. Let's see, the risk index exposure. The talk about the BBS risk index exposure susceptibility monetary loss. Can't remember which tile that is for you,
Sure. So the risk index, it's basically just a formula. How they calculate the top 10 scams.
Well, that'd be fun to talk about.
And they use the exposure times the susceptibility times the monetary loss to get their numbers. So
Okay.
it's more of an algorithm, and
Love those
it's
algorithms.
more bigger than me to calculate those.
Okay.
They just tell me what the top 10 scams are.
All right. We can talk about anything you want to.
Okay. What's really important are those scams so that consumers can spot the red flags, because
Okay.
scams aren't going away.
No.
They're just going to become more complex, more sophisticated as technology enables them to be.
Exactly.
We need to be smarter than that scammer. We need to be a fraud fighter.
Okay.
We can't
I'm
be
with you.
reactive.
They keep me
So
from getting frauded all the time. Buying stuff.
pay with your credit card,
Right.
not your debit card.
Right. Oh, there you go. We'll talk about that.
Yeah, we could talk about that.
So there's some stuff I've got nailed on. So we could talk about that. Where one of them was a telescope, big long telescope, and then the next, so this was the picture of the big telescope.
Uh-huh.
When I got it, it was this.
Did it sound too good to be true?
Well, I think it was like $49 or something like that. Like it's a little bit of telescope.
So you purchased it online,
Of course.
probably from a site that you've never heard of before.
Correct. Right.
Okay.
And
And
I'll save this.
okay,
Save this.
we could talk about all this. Hey, I hear these stories all the time.
Do you?
Yeah.
So if you'd like, we're on Facebook. If you
Okay.
have your phone,
I have my phone, but that's
you
fine.
can see you on Facebook, and then you can see people talking, chatting.
Okay.
You don't have to.
Okay. I'm good.
Okay. All right.
Okay. What are they saying about me?
Nothing yet.
Okay.
They will though.
Okay.
We got some good followers here.
I like questions.
Well, we may get some questions. Just depends on who shows up today. Right, Facebook? You guys gonna have questions for Tiffany? Now, do you like to go by your Tiffany Bernhardt Schultz or just Tiffany Schultz?
You can just use Schultz. That's fine.
Okay.
It's just I got married into my 30s and I kept my maiden name.
I love it. I love that.
You know, when your degree and all your awards are in your maiden name,
Right.
you keep them.
Nothing wrong with that. So why don't guys take the woman's name?
Sometimes you hear they do. Very seldom, though.
Yeah. Yeah, that'd be weird.
I didn't even change my name till I had kids.
Really?
Really.
Oh
Really?
my gosh. So what name do your kids have?
They have my husband's last name, Schultz.
Well, isn't he lucky?
He, he wouldn't let them have just my last name or a hyphen last name, but you do hear kids
Yeah.
that do. But I felt like, why do I need to change it? There's no reason to change it until I have kids. And
There you go.
so I did have to update my passport just this last
Did you?
renewal, yes, because it was still in my maiden name. They're good for 10 years,
Right.
So there was no reason to change it before.
Oh my gosh. All right, we have.
Do I have to put on my earphones?
Not yet.
Okay.
Not yet. We've got about 45 seconds. China Grove's playing right now.
Okay. How many people listen?
It depends on the day, and I've had, and the subject also. I've had
Right.
A bunch of people, 20, 25 people listening live.
Okay.
And then what happens afterwards is people go in and watch the show after, so I have 500-600.
Oh, okay.
Sometimes, lower, but just depends.
Okay. So can you pull it up on regular radio?
Yeah, it's on radio right now too.
Okay, gotcha.
Oh yeah. And it's on 4 social media sites right now.
Oh, okay.
So that's really exposure.
Hi, Facebook.
All right, here we go. Oh, almost got caught there. Springsteen almost snuck in on me. Woo! Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome to a ducky kind of day outside. If you look, let me give you the weather report. It's raining. Okay, that was brought to you by nobody. And it's, did I tell you it's ducky outside? Yes, it's ducky outside. Thank God I mowed the yard yesterday. I am still amazed by these people doing this no-mow Wednesday, or no-mow May, because I know the grass is going to be 2 feet tall. And they're going to look at that grass, and they're going to be out there, they're going to wonder what's wrong with their lawnmower. That's just crazy. You people are just knuckleheads. I know. It's environmental, or they telling you it's environmental, but I did spray my dandelions, and I've got all that done and taking care of that stuff. So it may be no May, but you better not have any dandelions living next to me, because I will come over and spray your damn dandelions. I don't need those dandelions. I don't make soup or anything like that. But hey, speaking of scammers. In studio, joining me is the scammer expert herself, the scammer police, the person that watches everything. She knows what's happening out there, and that's Tiffany Schultz from the Wisconsin Better Business Bureau. Good morning.
Good morning, Bill.
Hey, I'm glad you could join me.
Thanks for having me on this Ducky Day.
Ducky Day, right? Yeah, that's my day. That's my Bill language. Ducky Days. Did you get the kiddo off all right?
She got off to school in the rain.
All right. How old is she?
She's almost 8 next month.
Oh my gosh.
I do have another one too.
You do?
Yes, he's almost 12.
And he can get to the bus with no problem?
He has alarms set, and he knows that he loses his phone if he misses the bus.
Wow. All right. I like those rules. See, that's responsibility. You're teaching it. This is your result. You've got to get to that bus. If you don't, you're going to lose that phone. So don't be losing that phone.
No kid wants to lose their phone
Never.
these days.
No. Oh my gosh. What would they do?
They'd be lost.
I'm lost if I don't have my. You wake up and I wake up in the morning. I get up and do my business, and then what's the next thing I do? I grab my phone, go in, make tea, and sit down with my phone.
And scammers know that.
They do.
They're ready to grab you.
Oh my gosh. So how long have you been with the Better Business Bureau?
Almost, let's see. So I started in January 19, so about 4.5 years.
Oh my gosh. So what attracted you to this job?
So it was kind of funny how my career has evolved. So right out of college, I had started in retail management and made a short career doing that. I worked for the Big W, Walgreens, in management, and it's really not what I went to school for. So I kind of had an opportunity to be a marketing director for shopping malls. And I had started in Racine, Wisconsin. That brought me to Madison, Wisconsin. And I was a marketing director for 17 and a half years for Easttown and Westtown malls.
Oh my gosh. So are you from Racine?
I'm from Milwaukee.
Well, but you did say Racine.
I worked in Racine for about 3 years.
Oh no, Racine, not Racine.
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 Ah! There's I don't know, them fighting words maybe. I know, I got a buddy that's from there, and he's like, it's Racine. Always racing. So I love retail.
So the industry has evolved quite a bit. So I went from being on the front line retail to promoting consumerism.
Oh, sure.
So I was a marketing director. I was promoting come to our shopping mall, and that industry has changed quite a bit
isn't that sad?
over the years. And I found myself with an opportunity to work for the BBB. Believe it or not, I answered an Indeed ad. And I had applied, and what's interesting is I started in retail, then I went to promoting consumerism, and now I'm protecting consumerism. So I've kind of made the full circle in my career.
Well, I think it's fantastic. But talk about the malls for a second. Isn't it sad what's happening with the malls, and that traffic is gone basically?
People are really shopping differently these days.
Well, of course, and that's why you're busy.
And retailers are finding ways to evolve with the times.
Yeah.
So, we remember going to the shopping malls in the 1980s. And we spent a day at the shopping malls, remember? We made a day of it.
Well, you hung out. You had the arcade, you had the movie theaters.
Right.
You were there. I mean, you'd drop off with a $5 bill and you'd be there all day.
Right. Consumers don't shop that way anymore. So back in the 80s, we didn't have e-commerce. We went to the shopping mall for a social aspect of it. But we changed the way that we shop. We shop online. We don't spend our days shopping at the malls anymore.
Yeah.
We run in, we run out, different kind of traffic. Back in the 80s and 90s, look at all these restaurants that are at shopping malls now.
Yeah.
Entertainment complexes, we didn't have
Sure.
those. So malls have evolved with the times, and just because you don't see the consumer there all day long doesn't mean that the retailer isn't making any more money. They do have their e-commerce site, they're
Sure.
changing their footprints, so they may no longer need 5,000 square feet. Instead,
Right.
they need 2,000 square feet. So you're seeing medical complexes come into shopping malls. You're seeing that industry really change and evolve.
Well, Apple's not going to put an Apple store in something that's not going to make money. And being at Hilldale, that layout that they have over there is just phenomenal.
That's their changing customer.
Right.
I remember I was the marketing director at Westtown the
Oh.
day that Apple Store opened.
Wow.
And that really changed the dynamic of shopping. And what a lot of people don't know is that Apple is a co-tenant for many other retailers. If you have an Apple store, the other retailers are going to follow. It's
Oh,
called
sure.
co-tenancy.
Well, I like going over there. I like the Hilldale style of malls and all that. I'm really disappointed in Macy's and how their businesses have evolved. It's now more like, I hate to say it this way, it's more like a Kmart thing. Get your stuff, take it to a cash register. It's like a centralized cash register now.
Retail really evolves with the times, and it follows the consumer. What is the consumer buying? And if that's what the consumer wants, that's what the store is going to cater to. And we also have to remember the staffing too.
Oh, yeah.
We don't have staffing levels that we've had in the past too. So, we have to evolve. We still need a successful business, and they can still operate a successful business going along with what the customer wants. So
Wow.
really different than what we've seen in the past. But, we're moving forward as time changes.
I remember, now I'm going to show you how far back I go. 1980. I worked at a store called Bamberger's, which is like Boston's store, but it's an East Coast, or was an East Coast. And back then, young men were required to wear tie and jacket. Tie and jacket, you had to. And I got to the point where I was what they call an expediter, so I got to wear a little flower and all that stuff. That's the Macy's thing, the little flower back then. And so I controlled my area, my men's department. But back then we gave service, and we had 3 or 4 people in one department to help all those people shopping. But again, there was no online sales anymore,
And
or at that time.
with the whole Von Mar thing too.
Oh, yeah.
Von Mar had opened at
Love
Westtown.
that.
Very similar to what you've experienced many years ago. There's still that market for that, and you'll see
Oh,
those
my gosh.
associates dressed up and
Yeah.
really providing that higher level service. So if you want it, it's there.
Yeah.
If you just want a more casual experience, maybe you're looking for something specific, there's retailers across the board that can cater to what you need.
I had not been to Westtown Mall in probably 10, 12 years. And then they came in, and I was on top of it. And in fact, I'm in the field for a new suit, so I'm going to go over there. Because they'll give you a different environment when you're shopping for a men's suit. And then I want my tailoring and all that, too. And the other time, everything's getting too casual, I think. Too laid back, we're missing something because of that. And that casualness that we have in shopping is why you're busy.
Very much so. Online shopping, #1 scam. I can talk all day about online shopping, and it's great. Isn't it easy to shop online?
No.
We sit down with our laptop at night, we Google what we're looking for, and a bunch of sites come up. Where do you start?
So let me tell you about a little bit about what we're going to talk about. So the Better Business Bureau, the scam tracker, prevented consumers and businesses from losing an estimated $21.2 million to fraudsters in 2022. We're going to show you an avenue, a tool for you to use when you're set up with all these different situations. Now, I think we have 10 different scams or scammers that we're going to chat about, and I know we're going to need time for this, and that's why all the way to 9 o'clock. And you said all the way to 9? Yes, all the way to 9. I think you're going to be surprised, folks. And here's what I want you to know. I've been scammed more than once. I think I have the word gullible on my forehead, And we were talking about it before we came on the air, and the one that stands out to me, well, there's several, but the one that stands out to me was there was this advertisement on Facebook, and I, being that consumer that believes that Facebook is protecting me, bullcrap, I saw this. I thought, man, this would be pretty cool, because where I live, I've got a wildlife area, and I'm always watching deer and foxes and all this, and the turkeys, and I have binoculars, and that I thought, man, this might be kind of cool. So I think it was $49.95 or something like that. I ordered it during COVID, and about 8 weeks later, I came in, and it was a little bitty telescope, little bitty toy that you get for like $1.95 at Walmart or something like that. And of course, no phone number to call anybody. You had to email them, and did I get a response? No. Then another time, I ordered some clothing, and I thought, man, this is cool, and the price was right and all that. And then when I got the stuff in, it didn't fit. It was cheap, and only one of the items was really cool. It was a nice, like a turtleneck sweater, and I love that sweater. But the other stuff was crap. And honest to God, I didn't even take it to Goodwill. I threw it away. But so here's what I want you to know. In 2022, there were 40,503 reports, and 40.7 of those reports had a financial loss. And get this, folks, the least affected by that are my age bracket, that 55 to 64. Where our losses are $150. But the biggest one, the most gullible, ready to pull the trigger, buy whatever they can online, is 18 to 24. 18 to 24. $220 per report, right?
Isn't that surprising?
It is!
Yes.
And then the next one, which doesn't surprise me, would be 65 plus.
We've done a lot of education over the years to seniors, because we're all vulnerable, we're all consumers, and seniors have perceptions and assumptions that maybe they're not as up with the times, maybe there's a loss of physical and mental acuity, maybe they don't know where to report it. So what does the scammer do? The scammer wants to target the senior.
Right.
We have made seniors fraud fighters over the years, and we have taught them to spot the red flags of fraud, because as you and I talked about, scams aren't going away.
Yeah.
They're becoming more and more sophisticated and complex as technology evolves. We're all consumers. We all need to be fraud fighters. We all need to learn to spot the scams, spot the red flags of these scams.
And I got to tell you this. I'm going to share a story. I'm going to pick on my dad a little bit, but that's okay. My dad's 83 years old. He still has a business where he does medical billing for. He's got one doctor left. And doing this billing for this doctor is like his thing. At 83, you don't want him to sit around watching TV. He's proud of it. So he had a problem with his printer. Got a guy local. This isn't online stuff. This is local.
They can be local?
Well, I know. Man, I was ticked. And my sister's an attorney. My brother-in-law's an attorney. I'm like, could you guys get some teeth and go and nail this dude? So my dad had a printer problem. He calls a local guy in. The guy says, you need a new printer. And he says, well, all right, I'll buy a printer. do you have one? He goes, oh, I happen to have one. Oh, yeah. And my dad's like, well, what's going to happen if this one fails? He says, well, I have 2 printers. I'll sell you both of them. My dad is 83 years old. He might have 2 more years in this business, and the guy sold him another printer, which blew me away. That's scammy, I think.
Well, there are scammers and there are bad businesses. And what's important is that when you do business with a company, regardless if it's a online retailer, financial professional, tech support, just a retailer in general of some sort, plumber, handyman, electrician, you name it, do your homework first. Head on over to bbb.org.
There you go. So what is that again?
bbb.org. So you want to read complaints, read any reviews against the business. What are they rated through the BBB? Can you find information on them? That's really key. If BBB doesn't have information on a business, it's likely because we don't have enough information to export the details about that business. Take your research a step further.
Sure.
Do an internet search on a company.
Right.
By the company name, type that into Google, follow it by scam, complaint, customer review. What are people saying about this business? Still can't find information? Call your local chamber. Have they ever heard of this business? Because chambers are in the know. They usually know which businesses are in their community.
Especially our chamber.
Absolutely.
Of which you and I are members of.
Yes, I am a board member for the chamber. And Christina and Barbara, they know everything. They're going to know a business if they're in town.
Exactly.
So if that guy was local, somebody's going to know him.
Right.
And they're going to tell you the truth about a business. If there's nothing good to say, they might be very vague with their answers.
Sure.
If there is something good to say, they're going to tell you how wonderful they are. Or maybe they have recommendations for somebody that you can use.
Right. I got to take a pause here because I want to plug our chamber. The Sun Prairie Chamber is fabulous, folks. And I'm not just saying it because I'm a member and an ambassador. I'm an ambassador because I believe in what the chamber is all about. And the things that we do as a group, the synergy that's created there, it's not just the networking, it's the connection of people. It's me connecting you with somebody else. Alex Mahoney needed a landscaper. Man, Jackson Landscaping, on the phone with Jackson, call Alex. She's needing a landscaper now. And those are the cool things. Or learning how to have somebody review your marketing, looking at somebody to help you with your financials, your social media, your advertising, TV, radio advertising, stuff like that. There's always a resource. And Barbara Bailey, Christina Williams, they are our leaders down there, and Mary and Cameron are there also. But you really should, if you're not a chamber member, do this. Would you stay in curiosity and seek to understand? Join us for a coffee chat on a Friday morning. Call me, text me, email, I'll tell you where it is. Or better yet, go to the Sun Prairie Chamber website and it'll have the complete calendar there. And see, and come in and meet. When I tell you we have a coffee chat, we have, how many people? 20, 30, 40 people?
20 to 40. I mean, we were at Mocha a few weeks ago. I don't know if you were there.
Yeah, I was there.
I think
you
there
just
were
couldn't see me because there's so many people.
There were almost 40 people there.
Right.
I mean, it's absolutely amazing. And, we see some of the faces are exactly the same every month or every week that are coming to coffee chat.
Right.
I mean, what a great way to start your morning.
Sure.
And then there's new faces every week, too. So
Exactly.
That's wonderful to see. The host businesses change every week, so we're always going somewhere different. And Christina and Barbara do an amazing job facilitating that event.
They really do. And we're going to be at Prairie Jewelers this Friday morning at 8:30. Friday morning at 8:30, Prairie Jewelers right on Main Street. It's right next to the laundromat. Great location, man. Right next to a laundromat.
Art Fish is hosting us.
What's he say?
Get smart, buy from Art.
That's it. I couldn't remember it. Oh my God. Isn't that to die for? Oh my gosh. But it is true. I mean, the chambers are what they make themselves out to be. Christina Williams has kicked butt.
The chamber has really come far, even since COVID. Bill, when we had started Coffee Chat, there were 3 or 4 of us that had started online, and we would Zoom together on Friday mornings.
Wow.
And then we moved over to the park, and maybe we got about 10 people to join us. And then
That's
it got
funny.
too big for the park, so we had to start going to businesses. And it's really amazing where this chamber started and where this chamber has come. And like you said, the synergy, the connection, the promotion, and being a board member, I see what's happening from the inside too, and I'm sure you see it from the ambassador side.
Absolutely.
And we're only getting going.
Right.
What's to come in the next year, 3 years, 5 years? What is this chamber going to be like?
Exactly.
If you're a business and you're not part of the chamber, I recommend that you become part of the chamber. Also check out the BBB too.
Sure.
How can you get involved in the BBB?
Well, here's the thing about the chamber. You wouldn't be here.
I wouldn't be here because we wouldn't have met. I mean,
Right,
we kind
exactly.
of knew each other.
Right,
but
exactly. But, I mean, we really got into it. We talked about some things. How about Danelle Gay? She came in here. Now she's one of the broadcasters here doing a TV show that's here. I mean, Aaron Barth. We've got Seth has been here.
Seth and Jen?
Yep, they've been here. So it's about getting that message out, and we just have a community full of amazing businesses. And I think one of the advantages of getting to the chamber, and something, folks, if you're not a business owner, that's okay. What's cool about the chamber is you have somebody to check out a local vendor. And I believe, I said it 3 times. Buy local, buy hyper local. So try to buy something in Sun Prairie. Then if you can't buy it in Sun Prairie, go to Dane County, the state of Wisconsin, and do it that way. And the reason you do it that way is because you see the people, you can look them in the eye, and you're going to get better service and care.
I always recommend too, with those referrals, to always check them out on BBB too.
Sure.
Because they can be an amazing business, and I've heard stories before, even from realtors like you. So there's a realtor I know really well, comes to a lot of networking events. We don't see him in Sun Prairie, he's kind of based on the west side, but he's like, Tiffany, he's like, there was this amazing solar company that I referred
We're going to get to that.
so many customers.
Wow.
If we're going to talk about it later, I'll save my story. But referral, he used them himself, and long story short, he had lost $27,000.
Yeah.
So it's important to check out those vendors because things do change overnight sometimes.
Yeah, and thank you for bringing that up. And I've got it highlighted. And like my entire page is yellow about solar. I've got this thing about solar. So let's talk about where the scams are happening and what's going on out there. And I think you won't be surprised about this, but websites and social media are the top two. About 31.5% report a loss from the website. And of all the reports out there, 17% are from a website. Social media, 18.7%. And then email scams. I mean, I'm always getting the Geek Squad email about my computer. I'm like, I don't have a membership or a deal or anything. Or McAfee also. That's another one. Or Norton. I mean, and I, honest to God, almost clicked on the McAfee going, I guess my thing's up. But the internet is just so easy to get nailed on.
Scammers use websites, they use ads, both on websites. You're browsing for something online, and before you know it, all these ads are popping up.
Right.
Let's say you're looking for a certain pair of shoes, and all these ads are popping up on different websites that you borrow. Scammers purchase advertising on websites, and on the other end, the person who's selling them the website, they don't care who they are. There's
Facebook.
a deal that lands on their desk, they're going to put it on out there
Google.
as an ad. Right. So, all of these fake ads could be on websites, they could be on social media ads, and they entice you to click on them and buy their product. They may or may not be legitimate, which goes back to do your homework before you purchase from the company.
I think if Facebook or Instagram or Google would spend the same amount of time as they're looking for false information on somebody saying something or a presidential election, then we wouldn't have as many scams. Check out those advertisers. They really need to have a process to do that because they're prevalent out there. You can't buy a Rolex watch for $200. It ain't real.
If it sounds too good to be true, it probably is.
Yeah, and don't wear a fake one. what's that say about you? But you know, no judgment, no judgment.
So let's talk about this fake stuff, okay?
Yeah.
So about a month ago, for spring break, my husband and I, with the kids, we went on a cruise to the Western Caribbean.
Oh, cool.
And we got off the ship in Costa Maya, Mexico, and you know they have their port and all their vendors and stuff like that, and beautiful Michael Kors purse. And I stop, I look at it, and the guy comes up to me, he goes, look it.
$25.
Almost real. And, you know, I'm like, oh, okay, and you're looking around, and almost real, okay, and we went to the next port, Belize, almost real. We get the Roatan, almost real, like they're all over the Caribbean.
Sure.
And they are taking away the rights, so they are counterfeiting a product.
Right.
And when you purchase one of those counterfeited products, whether it be a handbag or Rolex, whatever you're buying, a Yeti, that's another one, Yeti cups, you're supporting the scammer. You're not supporting the real company.
Sure.
They are using the real company's legitimate products to make imposters of and sell as their own. So
Sure.
keep that in mind. My coworker, she was on a cruise the week after me. She went up to a woman who was purchasing one of those, and she goes, "You do realize you're supporting a counterfeit ring, right?" And she's like, "Yeah, I don't care."
Yeah, because she just wants to pretend like she's more than what she is.
Right, exactly. But you are supporting a scammer when you're doing that.
Yeah.
You're taking those dollars away from the legitimate company.
It's not important to feel good. It's just important to look good.
Right, but we need to get that out of our head.
Well, I know. I'm with you.
And really know what's going on behind the scenes.
We all want something for nothing.
Absolutely. Give me a deal. But
Yeah.
not something that's going to support a criminal.
Exactly. Yeah, I'm with you on that. I mean, and the federal government spends billions of dollars every year, and they confiscate billions of dollars coming in through the ports and all that. It's almost as bad as drugs,
Yeah,
if not worse.
yeah.
I mean, it really is that bad. But when you see a Rolex and it's got a digital movement on the face, it ain't a Rolex. Rolex is a precision timepiece, and it clicks. It goes tick, 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 tick. Trust me, I own one. I know this stuff. And nothing, it makes me madder than to see somebody, oh, you have a Rolex, can I see it? Yeah. And the digital's going, j, j, j. I said, where'd you get your Rolex? That's always asking, where'd you buy this? Oh, I got a great deal. Oh, this ain't a Rolex, you know. What do you mean it's not a Rolex? It's not a Rolex. They don't have digital movements. And they're caught. They're caught. They know they bought a fake, but when somebody knows it, it wasn't to embarrass them. Yeah, it was. Yes, it was. Yeah. $200 or $20,000.
When you're seeing a deal like that and you compare it to other prices, it should be a red flag that something's wrong with this product.
Yeah. So I mean, right now I have one. I have Cole Haan. I bought a bunch of shoes that I thought was through a Cole Haan clearance thing. Bought 10 pairs. Now I first thought $29 a pair, because sometimes you can get them for like $49, something like that. I mean, Cole Haans are like $140. They go to clearance, and then you get. That's when I look for the deals. The site looked exactly like a Cole Haan site. I'm actually I have a membership into Cole Haan. I bought all these shoes. Nothing. I got nothing out of it. Well, so I spent about $100 and something on shoes. No, it was $200 and something because it was $29 a pair. I never got them. Capital One gave me all my money back. No phone number. I kept emailing. Hey, I haven't received the shoes yet. Oh, we're really backed up. Blah blah blah. They really stretch you along, you know. But the fool sitting in the chair over here thought he was getting a really great deal, and I got screwed.
So the thing about these sites is that a lot of times there's one fake site up there, and when it gets caught, it gets pulled down and another one goes right up. So the scammer is one right behind the other. So consumers don't check out the site before they do business with it. They're like, oh, well, the shoes are only $29.99. I normally pay $49.99. These are a great deal. I'm going to enter my personal information and credit card information. When you're shopping online, there's some things that you can look for on a website that are pretty simple, and there's usually more than one. First of all, start in the website address.
Yeah.
Does it have a lock symbol? And does it start with HTTPS? If it starts with HTTPS, it means that the site is secure, not an HTTP.
Okay.
Look at the content of the website. Are there spelling and grammatical errors?
Oh, yeah.
There's usually multiple of them. A professional website is always going to be free and clear in errors. Look for contact information. Like you said, there was only an email address. There should be full and complete contact information.
Right.
So you want to look for an address. Google that address. Where does it go?
Sure. I'm with you on this. The Colhan one just blew me away because it looked like the Colhan that I normally go to shop at. And so I'm like, okay, I've been scammed.
Scammers
Son of a bitch.
replicate legitimate websites too to make them look like their
Yeah,
own.
they do.
For example, and I believe it's been taken down by now, I'm not 100% sure, but Inglehart's on Madison West Side.
No way.
Yes, a scammer had taken advantage of that website, so I believe their website address is Englehart or something like that.com. Scammer had put Englehart1, the number 1, after their name.com. During the pandemic, the scammer was selling ATVs and UTVs and all kinds of equipment online because people couldn't get those items, right?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
But it didn't take delivery.
No, it was enter your credit card information and then, we'll ship the vehicle to you.
Oh
And
my
it
gosh.
looked identical to the real website.
Wow.
So we really need to pay attention and really be careful about when we're ordering online. If we're ordering a $29 pair of shoes or if we're ordering even a vehicle, we can buy
$2,000.
vehicles online.
I know, right?
Are we buying from a legitimate source? That's what's important. So when you Google that address, you can see if it goes to a real place of business or an empty field or a UPS store. If it goes to an empty field or a UPS store, it should be a red flag that this business does not exist.
Sure.
Do they have a privacy policy? And what are they doing with your personal information? Do they have a phone number? Call that phone number. Does somebody answer it or does it go to a dead line? So lots of things that you can look for on a website. And there's also something else, Bill, and I do want to give this to the listeners. You can also search the Whois database.
Yeah, that's kind of cool.
Yes, it's not always helpful.
But you don't think about this, Tiff, when you're online, you're on Facebook, you're cruising along, oh, I gotta have this, I gotta do it, gotta do it. You don't think, I need to check them out.
Scammers prey on emotions. You wanted those shoes at $29.99, didn't you?
Damn right I did.
Yes.
Give them to me.
And they know that. This is a simple search.
I'm gonna find them.
GoDaddy.com/whois. That's GoDaddy.com/whois. You type in the website address. There's two things that you can look for. When was the website created? Was it created last week? Was it created last month? Was it created a year ago? That's important. If it was created last week, it's probably a scam. Also look to see where that site is registered. Sometimes you can see it on here, sometimes you cannot. If it's registered in Singapore, Guam, China, anywhere other than the United States, you don't want to buy from that website. You pulling it up there, Bill?
No, I'm putting it in the thing so people have it there.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm with you. I mean, stuff comes from the East sometimes. Nike is made over there.
Absolutely.
They are made there, Nike shoes.
Absolutely.
Which bought Colhan.
But make sure that you're buying from the legitimate website. It might cost you those $49.99 for those shoes.
Yeah.
But at least you know it's legitimate. And the worst thing about it is you've entered your personal information into that site. You've entered your credit card, hopefully, and not your debit card. You always want to pay with a credit card online, not a debit card. You're going to get more protection with that credit card.
Okay.
So now you've given the scammer all that information. So they can use that information and scam you down the road when you're least expecting it.
Wow. It scares me. I don't even want to buy stuff anymore online.
We just need to be careful and know who we're buying from.
Well, sure.
Check out that retailer on bbb.org, too.
Well, that's true. I mean, I just recently, there was the Kentucky Derby thing, so I went in and I wanted to buy a new sport coat for the Derby, and I did that, and I had to go search around. I ended up at Macy's because I was so afraid of buying something online and not being right or being scammed again. But anyway, I ended up buying it at Macy's, but they got a pretty good deal on it, I thought. But
It's great to support your local retailers, too, your local stores, because if we don't support our local stores
They
here,
won't be here.
they're not going to be here.
Right, exactly.
They're going to take their operations online. So important to get here.
So during the, I
I'm sorry, my phone's ringing.
That always happens.
It's my husband.
Hi, honey. You should answer and go, hey, I'm on the radio right now.
Nah, he's kind of more of an introvert.
Well, he doesn't know. I mean, we can play with him a little bit. One of the things that got me, here's a good one, and let's see if you know anything about it. So during COVID, my intention was to make sure I took care of myself, and through exercise at home, diet, and all that. And one of the things that I got hooked up on was Smiles, the invisible liners.
Okay, yeah.
And well, it didn't jump out at you, so you must not have too many complaints.
That specific company, that doesn't ring a bell. However, if we go to bbb.org and we, type in the company name, we can possibly find any complaints about that company. So when you're headed on over to bbb.org, what's important when you search for a company name is that you type in the city where they're located, because you may not get any results if you don't.
Well, how do we know what city?
Well, you can leave the field blank too. So if you just type in the company name and leave the city blank, your search results are going to be better.
Okay.
You could also do an internet
no results
search.
Found.
No results?
Yeah.
You can also do an internet search. Type Smiles. It was the name of the company, Smiles?
Yeah,
or
something like that.
So you need the exact company name. You could also do Smiles complaints, Smiles scams, Smiles customer review, Smiles teeth whitening. I'm not real familiar with it, but there is a brand new accredited business. He sells those products. His company name is Arctic Whitening, and he is located right in this area. He's a legitimate company. He's an accredited business through the BBB. So if you are looking for those products, you can get those directly through Arctic Whitening, a legitimate company.
So Smile. So what this was is the inlay, or they're like invisible braces.
Okay, not the whitening.
No.
This was different.
Well, they give you whitening to go along with it. They sell the package and all that stuff. So it's like a 2-year process, and Invisalign is the competitor to it.
Okay.
When I went to my dentist, go every 6 months for my cleaning, and I'm lucky to have decent teeth. They're good teeth. I don't have any cavities. So I'm just getting old. They're cracking and stuff. All that old age stuff. I'm not old though. Why did I say that? Anyway, I wasn't happy with the performance I was getting. I said I'd like to talk to the dentist, which they've listed as Brian Nelson.
Uh-huh.
And I said, please have the dentist contact me. Nope. And then calling them, and we'll have a representative call you. They just kept pushing me away from this dentist. I wanted to talk to the dentist because it wasn't making the adjustment that I wanted.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't getting the results that I expected. And to this day, finally I gave up on them. And I spent a couple of $1,000s on this.
That should be a red flag that you couldn't talk directly to the dentist.
Well,
but you didn't know that until you're into it.
Exactly. I was
So,
already into it.
Important to do your homework ahead of time. And unfortunately, COVID was a perfect storm
Right.
for scammers. They took advantage of items that consumers were looking for. When COVID first started, what were we looking for? We were looking for paper supplies, masks, cleaning supplies, things we couldn't find in the store, or maybe items that weren't available in the store. We didn't want to go to the store to get them. Scammers threw up fake websites left and right. One would go up, it would come back down. They were taking advantage of the situation. That's what consumers do. They follow the news. They are on to the next best thing before you are.
Yeah, I'm looking at it here. I mean, there's a lot of Smiles. Oh my God, you put that in there, I get 100 pages of dental. I don't know what it was. I'll find it. Anyway, but yeah, so that was something, and I actually, I thought about going to the Better Business Bureau and reporting it, and I just let it go. Just let it go.
Well, reporting it helps do two things. It helps warn others of the scams taking place in the marketplace, and it helps warn us. So you reported it.
Right.
So if we get 10 more reports about that, 20 more reports about it, we're going to start investigating that company. And we're going to be able to get information out to the media, out to the consumers, to stay away from this company. Sometimes we can bring them to justice. Unfortunately, a lot of these scams originate from overseas, And there's really nothing that we can do about it other than just be a fraud fighter and know what those red flags are to stay away from it.
Found it.
Smiles.
On yours. Smiles Direct is what it's called.
Smiles Direct. Okay, what does it say?
It says the business indicated they'd like to speak with consumers before complaints are filed with the BBB. Consumers are asked to contact Smiles Direct manager at blah, 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 between 9 and 6. Emails, I mean, it takes forever. One said, I signed a contract for aligners on February of 2019. This is recent. This is March 17th. Was scanned in office and sent home to wait for aligners. During treatment, I noticed I was having issues with, so there was an issue already. Smiles came back and apologized. They gave a very detailed response to it, so they are responding. So it seems like when I see a response like that, it seems like it's a legitimate company. They're maybe not giving the best service, possibly.
So the BBB profile is out there for the consumer to make the informed decision. So
Okay.
if they are a legitimate company, if they've had a lot of complaints, how did they answer those complaints? Are they in touch with the consumer? Are they on bbb.org and completely ignoring their complaints? That's for you to make an informed decision. Do you still want to move forward with that company?
Sure.
Now, knowing what
But-
you know now from reading that, would you have still used that company?
I haven't read the complaints completely, but I mean they're in depth. I mean they're detailed out. The part that concerns me is that when I asked for the dentist to contact me, could have been his assistant, a dental assistant even. No, I was told do the molds again and send them back to us.
Mm-hmm.
Do the molds. That was always their thing. And have you ever done those molds? I mean, they're a pain in the butt.
Mm-hmm.
And it's time consuming, and you send them in, they go, oh, they weren't right, you'll have to do it again.
Mm-hmm.
It was like a stall, and but
So why did you use that company versus working with your own dentist for the best product for you?
great question. I talked to my dentist about this. I didn't know they did that.
Okay.
I didn't know they had that product. So which led to a conversation. I said, why don't you share the services that you have here? It's not about just getting cleanings and then coming in and getting a cap or filling or whatever it is, or fixing a cavity. There's whitening. You could do some retainers and stuff like that. He goes, yeah, you could have just asked us. And I said, I'm the consumer. You need to tell me. I'm your customer. You need to educate me more.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing's happened since then, by the way, but I think it's because of that dental mindset where that medical practice where they don't advertise that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But they'll definitely put you on their payment plan. Pay us in advance for your future, and we'll give you a 10% discount on your next procedure. Like, no, I have dental insurance. Oh, you'll never use that dental insurance.
So, you were kind of in a catch-22 there. You saw a product, you didn't think your dentist offered it, and, that's a great way to start your homework, too. Check around. Check other sources, too. You see it on TV, and, oh, maybe my dentist can help me with this, or, my dental office. I had a really great experience with them, something I had never expected them to do for me. My husband's dental insurance plan was renewing, and he owns his own small business. And I was being presented with different dental options from the broker. And, sometimes that language in the contracts and stuff, it gets very gibberish. Like,
Right.
you don't really understand it. It's at a higher level. And my main concern was I didn't want to buy a plan that didn't pay much on the back end.
Sure.
Like, you used it and you still got a bill from the dentist. My dentist office actually told me what's the best plan out there.
Yeah, I did the same thing.
And the broker, she didn't want to offer it to me because it was the most expensive, but it paid the most. And the dentist office is like, yeah, you're going to pay more for your premium, but it's going to cover 100%.
Sure.
She's like, you want to pay $10 less and then get a bill for $80 later?
Yeah.
And I mean, they went above and beyond.
Sure.
So they're really great resources, in that kind of stuff too.
Yeah, I agree with you. Hey, let's do this. We're going to take a break and we're going to reset the show a little bit. And then we'll come back and we'll talk to Tiffany Schultz from the Better Business Bureau and learn about some more scams. We've just touched on online and haven't gotten to the number 2 one, which is employment scams. Blew me away. There, how about a little bit of Bruce Springsteen and Sloppy Joe's Cafe right here on 103.5 WLSP, The Sun. Good morning, everybody. Back in a minute.
We're going to need multiple shows to get through the top 10.
And we can do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm cool. I'll come back.
We could do this, every month.
Sure.
That's
Yeah, I'll come in
worth
monthly.
it for you.
Yeah, if you want me to be a regular, I do a regular on WKOW. I do a regular on the 4 p.m. show. I do
Yeah.
a regular on WVMO. I do a regular on community television in Fitchburg.
Oh, cool.
That's all Zoom, but they're renovating their studio, so I think I'm going to go in studio at some point. So
Have you been here with Dan Presser
no,
with Sun Prairie News?
no,
That would be a good one.
sure.
I'll connect you guys.
Yeah, connect us.
He's a great guy. He has an amazing show. He just took Best in Show at the WBAs this weekend. He won an award. I won an award with Andy Shaner, and who else? And Tim Burko for baseball.
Okay.
He did a baseball game. I'm like, I thought I did that game. And they're like, no, he did that game. I'm like, well, how come I wasn't there? And they're like, we don't know, but that was probably one of the only games I didn't broadcast.
So you don't do just football?
No, I do baseball, football, farmers market. I do Good Morning Sun Prairie, the real estate show.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Last year, it was just a little over 385 hours last year.
Wow.
I know, right?
Plus you do your real estate gig.
Yeah, I try to work. And I do the chamber. And keep up with me.
Busy guy, eh?
Have fun. I like to stay busy.
That's good. My kids keep me busy after work.
Yeah, mine are gone. They try to keep me busy, and they're gone.
Mine are, I become the Uber driver after
Oh,
work.
yeah. See?
Getting them where they need to go. But, today was supposed to be opening night. My son go-kart races at Beaver Dam
Oh,
competitively.
wow.
So it's supposed to be opening night.
Not happening.
No, I don't think that's going to happen tonight. And then his soccer practice was moved from tomorrow night to tonight. So I'm like, well, he's not going to be at soccer practice because, he had opening kart night tonight.
Oh, that's right.
Well,
now you can go to soccer.
Well, if that doesn't get
Oh,
canceled,
that's right. It's like you practicing.
they don't like kids on their wet fields because they tear them up with the cleats.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So I don't know if that's going to happen. I haven't gotten a cancellation yet. So
Can't.
So it might, he might not get to either one of them tonight, which is fine because then I don't have to Uber drive tonight. I need one night off.
We don't want to tear up the field. Stop it. The field's here. We don't want to tear it
They're
up.
really picky about that kind of stuff.
Yeah, well.
They're like, nope, too wet.
Yeah, I'm an old timer, see.
I know,
Get
but
out there.
they played out in the rain before.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I don't know what's going to happen. I'm like, well, if you don't hear from me, come home on the bus. We'll go racing. If you hear from me, I'll pick you up. We're going to soccer.
It's supposed to get worse.
It's supposed to rain all day. The racetrack can't handle this much rain.
No. And they're not, well, they're going to be spinning their wheels anyway.
It's dirt, so
Yeah.
it can only handle so much rain.
Right.
So, and it'll be cold out tonight. Like, it's not the best conditions. Like, you have to think about the fan side, too. That, okay, they got the racers here, but is anybody going to come support the program with paid admissions and
Yeah, that's
concessions
true.
and stuff like that? So, we'll see what today brings.
I've got some announcements to read. Man. So, I got a cold 15 days ago.
Yeah.
I'm still dealing with it.
Do you think it's a sinus infection?
Well, it's upper respiratory, yeah.
Okay.
And so you just have to go through it and all that.
Uh-huh.
It just hangs on and hangs on
Uh-huh.
and hangs on. I'm like, get it out of my head, come on.
My son had this weekend, came home from school Friday night with it. He's gone this morning. But, he's
Yeah.
only almost 12, so
Sure.
he can go ahead and, get over those quickly. I'm like, please don't give it to me. I don't need this.
Well, I'm not. After like the fourth day, you're not contagious. Actually, the contagious side is as you don't even know you have it.
Right.
And it's coming.
Yes.
And so I'm out there places and I'm coughing, and which makes me feel uncomfortable because I'm sure other people are uncomfortable. And then of course you sit there and you're like, well, they're coughing. Okay, and they're coughing too. Okay, they're coughing. But I'm coughing.
I had a cold back in December, and the cough finally went away. Like, I had
See what
that
I'm
very
saying?
end of it, up until it got warmer. When we were on spring break, it was warmer, so the cough went away.
Yeah.
As soon as I got back into the cold, it came back, and finally, when the weather turned, it went away.
Wow.
And those hang on forever for
I
me.
know. Yeah, me too.
I guess I'm just getting old. I don't know.
No, you're not. No, you're not. All right. Yeah, I want to talk about, I'd like to get to, touch on the employment scams, and then we'll get to, I want to go to home improvement. I want to definitely get to solar.
Okay.
Those vultures.
So you want to do 2, 3, and 4 today, maybe? I mean, those are
Maybe
that would
not
be a
3,
ton. Okay.
but I think that's funny. That's number 3. Cryptocurrency is number 3.
It's 3 because of how the median loss jumped so much between last year and this year.
Oh, wow.
And it's based on the formula. So that's why it's number 3.
Okay. The romance scams, too. Oh, I can tell you stories about that. So I was on the dating sites. But a $4,400. Wow.
And that's
Here we go.
underreported.
Good morning. Good morning, Sun Prairie, and welcome to Baker Street.
The question isn't what are we going to do, the question is what aren't we going to do.
This calls for the old dirty rule.
Time to rise and shine. Now here's your host, Bill Baker.
Hey, thanks, Lisa. My former producer and director of Good Morning Sun Prairie. Actually, she created Good Morning Sun Prairie. When she left, I got to fill in that seat, which, I don't know. I think I'm doing a pretty good job. I don't know. Get a few awards once in a while. Hey, pop-up beer gardens. What a subject. I love me some pop-up beer gardens. Hey, the monthly beer garden pop-ups feature partner Carbine 4 Brewing to bring local brews, food trucks, games, music, and fun to Orphan Park from 5 to 8 p.m. on Wednesday, May 10th. A portion of sales will be donated to Explore Children's Museum. See the Sun Prairie Parks, Recreation, and Forestry Department Facebook page for details. Tenant rights, led by the Tenant Resource Center as part of the Affordable Housing Month here in Sun Prairie. This bilingual event will take place at 5:30 on Wednesday, May 10th at Sunshine Place in the Enterprise Building. The presentation will focus on explaining the different types of eviction notices, eviction process, and tenant rights. Attendees will have the opportunity to ask questions and presenters can clarify any misconceptions surrounding this topic. See the front page of the City of Sun Prairie website at cityofsunprairie.com for more details and more information. Sun Prairie Nursery School fundraiser. Here we go. For $25 per adult, enjoy a flight of your choice or one drink of your choice, small bite appetizer, and unlimited soda for this event benefiting the Sun Prairie Nursery School beginning at 6 p.m. on Wednesday, May 10th at Cannery Wine, Bar, and Tasting Room in downtown Sun Prairie. See the Cannery Wine, Bar, and Tasting Room Facebook page for more details. Run the Parks! The Sun Prairie Parks, Recreation, and Forestry Department invites you to explore the Sun Prairie's parks and bike paths by participating in Run the Parks beginning at 8 a.m. on Saturday, May 13th at Stone Ridge Estates Community Park. See the Sun Prairie Parks, Recreation, and Forestry Department Facebook page for distance fees. I like this, distance fees. I got to pay for how long I run. Distance fees, registration information, and event details. 48-48-48 Pickleball Challenge. That's right, Sun Prairie has recently chosen to host the Wisconsin Stop during 2 individual quests to set world records for the fastest time to complete 48 pickleball matches in 48 states in less than 48 days, beginning at 3:48 p.m. on Tuesday, May 16th at the Wyndham Hills Park Pickleball Complex. See the Sun Prairie Parks, Recreation, and Forestry page for more details on that. Uh-oh, I'm running out of time. There we go, got it. Singer-songwriter series. Singer-songwriters and multiple instrumental Hu-Han Shea and musician Steve Baker, along with Emily Looper, will perform as the third part of the free singer-songwriter series beginning at 6:30 p.m. on Tuesday, May 16th in the community room at the Sun Prairie Public Library, which is located at 1350 Linrood Drive. Stop by, check out the Sun Prairie Public Library Facebook page for more information. Housing Coalition kickoff meeting. The Sun Prairie Housing Coalition will host its first kickoff meeting from 5:30 to 7 p.m. on Thursday, May 18th in the community room at Sunshine Place, which is located at 1632 West Main Street. Attendees will be able to connect with others passionate about this topic while also gaining a deeper understanding of issues facing Sun Prairie. See the front page of the City Sun Prairie website at cityofsunprairie.com and look for affordable housing information. Solving Climate Crisis. KOW meteorologist Bob Lindmeyer will give this climate-themed presentation sponsored by the Sun Prairie Action Resource Coalition beginning at 6:30 p.m. on Thursday, May 18th in the community room at the Sun Prairie Public Library located at 1350 Linrood Drive. Check out the Sun Prairie Public Library Facebook page for events, information, and advance stuff. There you go. Wow. Hey, Bill Baker here. My guest is Tiffany Schultz from the Better Business Bureau. We're talking about scams and scammers, having a great conversation. And we could talk about this all day. There's that much information out there. But as Tiffany says, go to bbb.org and check out companies before you do business with them. Learn what those complaints are. Or go to the web, look it up, search blah, blah, blah complaints. And make sure it's the right company, because there are more than one company of the same name. Check them out. Find out what's going on out there. And if you need to, you can contact the Better Business Bureau at 414-847-6019. That's 414-847-6019. Or tschultz at wisconsin.bbb.org.
That number that you gave is actually my direct line. You're welcome to reach out to me directly. However, if you just have a general question, you can also call our general number. That's 414-847-6000, and our customer service reps can help you. So even if you're just looking for a business to use in a certain category, let's say that you're looking for a plumber, our customer service reps are happy to send you a list in the category that you're looking in, and they will send it to you so you can check out those businesses. But feel free to reach out to me too.
Yeah.
Always happy to help.
Oh, you're fun. It's always fun to chat with you.
Sometimes you can't get me immediately. Like if I'm on the radio with you, you need assistance immediately.
There you go.
Our customer service reps are able to help you immediately.
See, listen to this.
And you can also chat with us online too.
We can?
Yes.
You're chattable.
Well, I'm not chattable. You won't
It's
get
not
me.
chat AI, is it?
But between 9 and 4, you can chat with us on bbb.org too. So one of our customer service representatives will be really happy to do that. You can't chat with me unless you want to email me. But if you need an immediate instant messaging, our folks in Milwaukee are happy to help.
All right. Sounds good. Hey, I want to talk about a couple of things here. I want to touch on, so the number 2 scam out there of the top 10 is employment scams, which is the biggest surprise for me of all the 10 that are on here. The median loss in this is $1,500, and then the riskiest age is 18 to 34. That's when, because their brains aren't forming. Or students. The students are the ones getting scammed. So what's going on here? What is it with the employment stuff? Why is this such a scam?
We've seen this scam bounce around in the top 3 scams over the last few years. Second spot, third spot, now it's back to the second spot. So scammers have really taken advantage of the COVID-19 pandemic when employers were not bringing you in to interview. So what did they do? They posted fake job listings online that had inflated salaries for you. So, for example, you're doing customer service as an entry-level job and an inflated salary. If you're making $80,000 a year to do customer service, it's probably too good to be true. But what were they doing? They were wheeling you in. They were getting your attention. So they set up an interview with you, and it could have even been a Zoom interview. You may have been emailing and Zooming with a scammer and you didn't even know it. Then they would hire you. Sometimes they would hire you on the spot. Sometimes they'd hire you with no interview, and they'd send you their forms to fill out. Think about what you give an employer when you start
Oh my gosh.
a new job. You give them your social security number,
Yeah.
your banking information for direct deposit.
My gosh.
Scammers were collecting that information. Sometimes you'd even work for them and not get a paycheck in return, or they'd send you a check to go buy equipment and send them the rest of the money back. Meanwhile, that check had bounced before you could even go ahead and get those funds cleared.
Oh my
So
gosh.
they really took advantage of that. They're still taking advantage of it. Students and the 18 to 34-year-old age group with the least experience is the one that's being targeted by these scams, losing the most money through these scams.
Wow. What about remote jobs? You're seeing a lot of that now on the Reels or TikTok.
Yep.
There's all these remote jobs that are paying top dollar and $30, $40 an hour.
Really important to check out the company even before you apply, because even when you apply, you give a lot of personal information. That job could be listed on popular job sites like ZipRecruiter and Indeed. If you don't see that job posted to the company website, simply pick up the phone and call that company. Ask for their human resources department. Does this job really exist? Because I don't see it on your website, but I see it on Indeed or one of those other hiring sites. Really do your homework before you start your job search.
I thought for sure you're going to tell me it's like resume companies or something like that. That those are the scams that are happening out there. Pay me $1,000 and I'll give you the resume, the Mac Daddy of resumes to make you $100 million. Eric Sullivan, good morning. Glad you could join us.
No, these are really, scammers who are impostoring companies to fool people to work for them.
So check it out. Check out the company before you give any personal information out at all.
Absolutely, even before you send your resume out.
Yeah, and wow. Because Indeed, if you're on Indeed or any of those sites, you may end up sending that out. Well, on LinkedIn, you can put your resume up.
You sure can. And people can contact you. You don't know if you're communicating with a real company or if you're communicating with a scammer. So you really need to do your homework in the job search. And it's unfortunate that scammers take advantage of vulnerable people like that, because when you're looking for a job, sometimes you're unemployed.
Yeah.
Sometimes you're underemployed. Sometimes you're just looking for a change of opportunity. So really do your homework. The best place to start is on the company website. Is it a real company? That's important too.
There you go.
Do your homework. Head on over to bbb.org. Does that company exist?
Right.
What can you find doing an internet search?
Right, exactly. Wow. So be careful of that. Be careful of that. Let's go to the number 4 on the list. I'm going to skip cryptocurrency and go to an area that I know really well. And we're going to talk about an area that has to be talked about. It's been a pain in my side for a long time. We're going to talk about home improvement scams, which, of course, is my biggest area of concern. And a lot of times these things originate with a knock on the door, a flyer, an ad, or you get these parasites that start going through the entire neighborhood, knocking on doors, going, hey, it reminds me of Pee Wee Herman. I'm going door to door to make you an incredible offer on solar panels. Oh my God, the parasites.
Bill, this is one of my favorite topics to talk about.
Let's do it.
Because as the weather turns warmer, it becomes the season for door-to-door scams. And everybody who knocks at the door necessarily is not a scammer. However, we need to be careful for those that may be scammers. So what happens is a company goes knocking at the door, and they are working with your neighbor down the street, and they have a fantastic deal. A lot of times this happens in the asphalt paving category.
Oh, really?
Where they're so-called working with your neighbor down the road.
Sure.
In Dane County, it's super easy to find out who your neighbor is. Head on over to Access Dane. You can pull up the street, and they can rattle off 10 different names. So they have extra materials left over from the job down the road, and for this low price only, you can go ahead and take advantage of that deal. Asphalt Paving Company. I don't want to limit it to Asphalt Paving Company, but a lot of these scams are in that category. Yeah. So you're like, oh, $500 to repave my driveway? Great. They need all the money up front. That should be a red flag. They need all the money up front. When you're paying a contractor
Sure.
You should always pay third down, third in the middle of the job, and third when you're finally satisfied. Always pay with a credit card if you can, not a debit card. That credit card is going to give you additional protections that other forms of payment may not,
But
especially
how will that give you added protection?
because a credit card company has fraud protection. If there's a fraudulent charge on your credit card, you are not going to be responsible for it.
But you have to prove the fraud.
You do have to prove the fraud. However, if it is a scammer, there's going to be additional protections on that end. If you pay with a debit card, you only have a certain period of time to dispute that, and you may or may not get your money back on your debit card. So, for example, let's say that this was your rent money. You had to pay them $1,500.
Yeah.
That money could be gone for weeks, months. You may get it back 3 months down the road.
Wow.
You may not. With a credit card, you're not going to be responsible to pay for that when that is in transition and being investigated.
Wow.
So always pay with a credit card. But going back to it, this person who knocks on the door, do they have a contract? Read over that contract. A professional company is always going to give you time to read over that contract
Sure.
and do your homework. So if somebody shoves it into your face, we'll sign this right now, I'll come back tomorrow. If they put on some type of pressure or the deal's going to be gone if you don't do it right now, red flag. Look at the vehicle they're driving. Does it have out-of-state plates? Is there a vehicle, or are they on foot? Does the vehicle have a magnet on it, or does it have professional lettering on it? That should be a red flag too. So really do your homework. And one other thing you can do, ask them if they have a seller's permit to go door to door. Companies who don't have it, they're going to be very vague in their response. Maybe I left it at the office. Legitimate companies will be prepared to show it to you.
Wow. Yeah. The solar people, it just drove me crazy. Knocked on my door twice. One of them insulted me. And, well, don't you want to save money? I said, well, yes, I'd love to save money, but this sounds too good to be true. I said, I've talked to other representatives, and it just doesn't work out. The math doesn't work out. It's not a benefit for me. Now, we've had some Prairie utilities in here. Lori's been in here.
Yep.
And, they've showed the advantages of solar and when it does benefit. And they're also a good resource for this, too, if you want to check out a company that's coming through there. And also, they'll help you work out the math. But there's a lot of questions that happen. But to me, it's just like, it's ooh.
You really need to do your homework on those companies, regardless if it's solar,
Siding,
asphalt paving, siding, hail damage. That's a big
tree trimming.
Yep, roofing, insect control, all of those. And sometimes it's beyond the trades too. It can be meat sales or help me win a trip, buy these magazines.
Oh, yeah.
Lots of different door-to-door tactics, and not every company who does door-to-door is a scammer. There are legitimate companies, but it's important you do your homework. Do your research if you want to use one of those companies, because typically what happens is that they won't show up to do the work the next day, or they'll come back and do substandard work.
Well, there is one that you and I both know. They show up every year. They're going door to door. It just, man, and they twist my arm every time. I fall for it every single year.
And which one is that?
Girl Scouts.
Oh,
Selling me cookies.
who doesn't love the Girl Scouts?
I gotta give me some cookies. No, those are good door to door. And you know what? I gotta tell you, any kid that comes to my door, any kid, I'm buying it, because it took so much courage for them to do that I'm going to reward them. If a parent comes and does it, I'm not buying anything.
So when you go to the grocery store and they're sitting outside of Pick and Save or Metro Market, do you always fall for it?
No.
You don't. They have to come to your door.
They got to come to my door. Or I have some families where I know the kids and all that. They'll call me. Hey, Bill, will you buy cookies this year? Yes. Bring me cookies. Oh my God, I had boxes and cases of cookies.
But the boxes are getting smaller.
I know. Did you notice that?
Yes. Like one row of peanut butter patties isn't a complete row anymore. There's only like 5 in a row these days. And the cookie is smaller.
Well, that's not a bad thing, though. That's good for my belly.
But the price is going up.
Yeah, that's true. I know. It's almost better just to donate money to them.
What is it, like $5 a box or something like that?
Yeah, $5. It's $5.
Yeah.
$5.
It's getting to be more, but you're supporting the Girl Scouts.
Exactly. I had something really funny to say about that, and I forgot what it was, but that's okay. Yeah, I love me some Girl Scouts. And then also Christmas trees. get the Boy Scouts come in. I got, Teresa Stevens, her kids, her girls come in. They sell me all my Christmas stuff, and I dig that. Now that's good stuff.
Don't miss the popcorn from the Boy Scouts either.
I don't miss me no popcorn either. I like miss the popcorn too. But the solar stuff kills me. Oh, what I was going to tell you was my grandparents got nailed a gazillion years ago because there was a tree in their front yard that was just overtaking the yard, and the guy said, "Well, I can cut that down for you." And my grandfather, who was in his 80s at the time, he goes, that as a former farmer, he goes, I don't think that'd be a bad thing. Why don't you just cut that down for me? And he did.
Mm-hmm.
He cut it down for $1,500 and left it.
Do your homework.
Gone. And so then we had to deal with that. But I mean, that's a good example of how they just come in and take advantage of people.
Right. See what people are saying with their experience. And it's always a good idea too, if you're using one of these home improvement contractors, is to get references.
Sure.
What do people say about the company? If they have a great experience, they're going to tell you they had a great experience.
Well, here's the thing I tell people. If you want some work done on a home, ask a realtor. You call me. Ask me about it. I have every recommendation, and my recommendations are I know people that I can trust that will do a good job, or if they make a mistake, which they will, I mean, you're allowed, you're human. We're not perfect. How they handle their mistakes.
I do recommend, though, because there was another realtor that referred a lot of business, and things change overnight sometimes.
Let's talk about that.
Yeah, so there's another realtor, not necessarily in Sun Prairie, but he is in the Madison area, and he referred a solar company to a bunch of different customers.
You want to give the name out?
The solar company?
Yeah.
The solar company was Sun Badger Solar. And they've been in the news. Yeah. And he had referred this company over and over and over again. And a lot of his clients had great experiences. And he's like, well, if they had a great experience, I'm going to use them. I'm interested in solar panels. So he went ahead and did business with the company. Things had changed overnight within the company.
Okay.
And he ended up losing $27,000. So things can change very, very rapidly with a company, sometimes out of their control. So even if you have used the company before, always check them out to see if anything is current. Right. And it doesn't hurt just to do that BBB search and see what people are saying, because we're going to have the latest data.
But even if you do the BBB search, there's going to be times when something's going to happen.
Sure.
And right now, solar's the craze, and that's fine, but these companies will slowly disappear. And that's what you got to keep in mind. It's like, who is going to repair my panel? Who is going to take that panel and the fixtures that hold the panels in place to replace my roof? You got to think about these things, and that's why I'm telling you, reach out to the BBB. You'll find out about that. You'll find some information. Also, SPU, Sun Prairie Power and Utility. Talk to those guys. And also, if you've got a realtor that you work with, man, we bend over backwards to really do a lot of research on who we're referring stuff to. And there's one thing you don't want to do. You don't want to make me mad. Because you do something bad to one of my clients, I will have you for dinner. And I will make sure everybody knows how bad you are.
And Bill, you had just described the research process perfectly. Don't stop at BBB. Go to those other sources too. Your realtor is a great source. They may have had a client that used him yesterday. Sun Prairie Utilities. Lori is part of our coffee group.
Yeah.
I mean, they are there as a resource for you. Really do that comprehensive homework before you hire a company, because with solar specifically, and a lot of these trades, you're spending tens of thousands of dollars. That's a lot of money, and one mistake, it could all be gone.
Exactly. And I love what Tiffany was saying. A third, a third, a third. A third up front, a third in the middle, a third at the end. And if you're not happy at the end, that's okay. You have to communicate it, and communicate it in a very positive way. It's okay to have a disagreement about something. It's how you have that disagreement. I will tell you this, though, with contractors. They can put a carpenter's lien on your property so fast, it's scary. So you really need to be upfront. You need to be honest and have that conversation and include all parties before that happens.
And make sure that it's agreed upon in the contract too.
Yeah.
Because if you didn't agree upon it in the contract and you want to do it after the fact, you're going to have a different conversation, and you may not have as much power at the end if you're holding back that final payment. So in that contract, indicate, I want a third down, a third in the middle of the job, and that third when I'm finally satisfied. If that contractor agrees to that, that's a good company that you're working with, because they want you to be satisfied too.
Now, I'm going to give you, let's talk about roofing for just a second. One of the things I like to tell you about is, don't forget that in the contract, it needs to stipulate the cleanup and what they're going to do on a daily basis. Are they going to come strip your roof off? And it's going to fall on your bushes and all that. Are they going to protect your bushes or your shrubs and all that? Bushes. Listen, I'm an old guy. Bushes. Your shrubs and all that, your landscaping and that. How are they going to find all the nails they've pulled out? They're going to be able to tell you this. A reputable company will tell you how they're going to do it. It's important that you have that in there. If they don't have the cleanup in there, they basically could just leave it there. They won't if they're reputable. But you do have storm chasers. They're coming in and they're just bam, 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 putting roofs up right away and moving on. They're going to damage some window screens.
Those storm chasers, they follow the radar. And they are where the storm is hitting. They're going to knock on your door the next day. And one of those things with storm chasers, too, they may see a storm come through, and they'll tell you that you qualify for a free roof inspection.
Sure.
They'll go up on your roof, and they may make damage, even though you don't have any damage.
Oh,
so
wow.
when you are working with a roofer, it's important that you look for a local company, too. Not just somebody who comes on your door right after a storm hits the area.
Right. I use Rooster. I recommend Rooster, but and Sean owns that. But we had the hailstorm come through. I live on Patriot Way, and so the hailstorm came through, and I called Sean. I said, "Hey, can you come check my roof?" And went up there. He went on the roof, and he also uses binoculars, depending on what's going on and how the slope of the roof is. But he said, nope, no damage. I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. I said, we just had a huge hailstorm. He said, Bill, you have no damage. Well, go look again. I mean, I was like almost offended. He didn't find anything. But then down the street at my buddy Dwayne's house, he's like, yeah, you got damage. And Dwayne's like, well, wait a minute. If you didn't have damage, how'd I have damage? I don't know.
Vehicles too. These fly-by-night companies follow the radars, and they show up in areas that had hail damage to do paintless dent repair to your vehicle. And we had a big hailstorm come through. This was a number of years ago, maybe 5-6 years ago. My car was sitting out in the parking lot at Westtown, and I had thousands of dollars in damage to my vehicle. My coworker, her car was sitting 2 to 3 spots over from mine. She didn't have any. It's just the way the hail fell.
Isn't that something? Oh,
but sure enough, we saw the PDR guys that were popping up in tents all around the area, just leasing space for whoever would give them space. So when you do get paintless dent repair on your vehicle, I know we're kind of changing gears here, but same lines. Make sure that you're going to a body shop that's local, that you've checked out, that you know does good work.
So we got about 5 minutes left. About 5 minutes left. Do you want to do another one, or should we hold off and do that later?
Maybe we should just circle back to cryptocurrency scams.
Yeah, let's do that.
Call it a day.
Okay, cool. Cryptocurrency. I mean, I've never gotten into it, but it looks like about $1,100 is the median loss. Biggest age risk, or riskiest age, is 25 to 44, and 65 plus. Also, students again. Did I hit that? Yeah, are the biggest area of this. So what's going on with crypto?
So this is a very complex scam, and I don't even know all the details about how it works. I can give you a very high level of what this is all about. The reason why cryptocurrency scams is the third riskiest is not because of the number of people that are being taken advantage of, it's because of the dollar amount that people are losing. So in previous years, consumers lost roughly, I believe, around $700. This has jumped substantially in this past year in 2022. And the scammers call you up and tell you to go buy Bitcoin or invest the Bitcoin, and they have some type of story about cryptocurrency, how you can make so much money on it.
Okay.
That's the gist of it. I can't really tell you the details of it because it's beyond what I understand. But, if you're presented with an opportunity to invest in cryptocurrency of some sort,
Okay.
really know what you're doing. Work with somebody who's very experienced in cryptocurrency. Don't just work with somebody who calls you or knocks on your door or who you meet,
Yeah.
at an event that you can help. They can help you with cryptocurrency.
Yeah, I agree with you. Man, wow. Tiffany Schultz, so excited to have you here. We're gonna do this. We're gonna do this like the second Monday of every month. We need to name that Monday though. What should we call it?
We'll have to think about that.
Mondays with Tiff.
Maybe something along the lines of scams.
Scam Monday.
Scam Monday.
Oh my gosh, I tell you. Hey, you've been listening to 103.5 WLSP, The Sun, right here in beautiful Sun Prairie. And we've been talking with Tiffany Schultz from the Better Business Bureau, the Wisconsin Better Business Bureau. She is the regional director for the BBB here, chamber member.
Board member.
Oh, do you like that? She had to put a stripe on her arm. Board member of the chamber. We're excited. And we've been talking about scams and scammers that are going on. The one that I want to get to next time is going to be the romance scam, which has a median loss of $4,400. And if you've been on dating sites or social media and looking for those folks, wait until you hear about this. And we're going to save that because I think it's going to be a great one. Don't forget, also, the leading site for, leading sites that are impersonated is Amazon, Geek Squad, Publishers Clearinghouse, the Postal Service, for God's sakes. And there's a whole bunch more. We're going to talk about that. But, hey, I want to say thanks for tuning in. Tiffany, thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me today.
See you Friday.
I'll see you at Coffee Chat.
Do we have tomorrow, Tuesday morning? No, that's next Tuesday.
It's the third Tuesday of the
that's
month.
next Tuesday. What do we call it? Sunrise.
Sunrise Sun Prairie. That's another great event.
It is, and we'll talk about that. I'll talk about that next Monday. Hey, don't forget to catch me on Saturday down at Farmers Market. I'll be right on the corner. And also the Sun Prairie Real Estate Show. We're talking about affordable housing. It is Affordable Housing Month, so have a great day, everybody. Stay dry and just make it a great day out there, would you? Grab some coffee too. How about some Callum Scott as we go away? Right here on 103.5 WLSP. Bye, Sun Prairie. Nice job.
Oh, thanks.
Doesn't that time go by just like...
It does, and do we have any questions or anything like that?
No.
None?
Not.
Wow.
I know.
I hope they were listening to me.
Well, they were. They love you.
They love me.
They do.
So second Monday of the month?
Yeah, if you want to.
Sure, I can do second Monday of the month. I don't think I have any. Mondays are usually pretty slow for me. But it'd have to be like a 7. Well, during the summer months, it can be earlier that I can come in once my kids get out of school.
Right.
My daughter can stay home with my son.
And we can tailor it to whatever you want to do. It doesn't have to be a whole hour and a half.
Oh, okay.
2 hours. It's whatever
Okay.
I don't want to,
Okay. Yeah, and I can put together like 3 or 4 trending scams.
Okay.
What we're seeing. Last year we warned consumers of over 1,000 scams that took place in the marketplace. And we necessarily don't always talk about scams. Sometimes we talk about consumer tips too.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Like May is National Moving Month. And so we talk about what to look for in a mover and the scams that are associated with movers. So everything is topical too.
Okay.
As I go throughout the year, I talk about what's important now.
Okay.
And there's always stuff that pops up too. One thing that we did not talk about, and